Silverware, GBS.
A very good evening and thank you for joining GBS News at 9. My name is Stephen George and our sign language interpreter tonight is Alan Kiama. Now, President William Ruto has today proceeded to the county of Narok where he has launched several projects while in what he terms as fulfilling his campaign promises to the people. The commander-in-chief also urged those opposing him to prepare for a bigger surprise in 2027 general elections. Ruto, who has kept his foot at the former Premier Raila Amolo Odinga backyard, has stated that the position is in for a shock, as Davis Karani reports.
He remains to be a man full of confidence with his leadership despite the opposition reorganizing itself in an aim to convince the Kenyan voter to vote him out of the office come 2027, which according to him is daydreaming.
Mimi najua tuko na mtihani 2027, si ndio? Siko mtihani pale? Ama hao watu wengine wanamangamanga hapa katikati, sijui watahesabu kitu gani, na uweze kuhesabu chuki, uweze kuhesabu ukabila, uweze kuhesabu migawanyiko, ati uligawanya watu mara ngapi. Wananchi hawa wanataka rekodi ya maendeleo, wanataka barabara ngapi ilijengwa, stima iliwekwa watu ngapi, soko ilijengwa ngapi, affordable housing ilipatikana ngapi, vijana walipata ajira kiasi gani. Si ndio hiyo mtaweka mtihani siku hiyo? Mkinipima hivi mnaona mimi ni mtu ya kuanguka mtihani?
After completing his tour in Migori County, a place he delivered his development goodies, Ruto today shifted his gear to Narok County, where he stated that time for politics will come, and for now, it is time to work for Kenyans and fulfill his bottom-up agenda that he promised during the 2022 campaigns.
Saa hizi hakuna siasa, saa hii ni kazi. Si ndio? Si saa hizi ni kazi. Tutengeneze soko, tuunde barabara, tuunganishe stima, tusomeshe watoto, tujenge airport, tuunganishe stima. Si saa hii ni saa ya kazi. Si siasa ni baadaye.
Will the opposition manage to silence President William Ruto, whom the political analysts term as the political bigwig?
Ama munasema tubadilishe, tuanze na hapa chini safari hii. Tuanze na chini huku safari hii. Ndio tupange ajira ya vijana hapa chini. Ndio tupange biashara yenu hapa chini. Ndio tupange kilimo kwanza hapa chini. Yaani hapa bottom. Hapa chini. Alafu tuende up. Yaani bottom alafu up. Yaani bottom up.
Or the country will still experience a repeat of the 1992 general elections where the then President Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi tore the opposition apart as he maintained presidency.
Tulimwambia mama mboga na wale wafanyabiashara wadogo wadogo, tutawatoa pale kwa matope, pale kwa vumbi, pale kwa jua, pale kwa mvua, tuwapandishe bottom up, wafike hapa kwa hii soko mpya hapa ambayo itawasaidia. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Tulikubaliana tutapiga kina mama mboga bottom up. Tutawapiga check.
Davis Karani, GBS News, Narok County.
Doctors in Kiambu County are threatening to down their tools in just 3 weeks, citing delayed salaries, lack of medical cover, and severe understaffing. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union says this county government has failed to honor its commitment, setting the stage for a possible health crisis if the demands are not met.
Doctors under the Kiambu County government have issued a 21-day strike notice demanding immediate resolution of delayed salary payments, failure to remit social health authority contributions, and severe understaffing in public hospitals.
Our first meeting with the governor promised that he will be paying salaries on the 2nd of every month. The salary for the month of March was paid on 28th and 29th of April. So you can see as a following month, when he's supposed to be paying the salary for April, he's paying the salary for March. As a result of that, those who seek their services under SHA, and we all know that all Kenyans are supposed to seek their services under SHA, were not able to access health care from 9th. And we have a good number of doctors that have illnesses that require to be covered. So you can imagine a doctor who is expected to be seeing another patient when they themselves are not even sure how they are going to be treated.
The union further criticized the county's failure to employ adequate medical staff, leading to burnout and compromised patient care.
Because of the suddenness of the low number of doctors that have been hired, a hospital like Thika Level 5, which used to have 17 MOs, medical officers, handling their patients, are crying with only 2 MOs doing the work that used to be done by 17. So you can imagine the burnout in those 2 doctors.
The other issue we have a big problem with Kiambu about is understaffing and not employing doctors. For instance, if you look at 2 hospitals of comparative size in terms of output, Pumwani Hospital has around 80 doctors working in their maternity department. Pumwani delivers 9,000, does 10,000 deliveries in a year. If you compare it with Thika Level 5, which does roughly around 7,000 deliveries, you only find a hospital like Thika has only 8 doctors working in its maternity. So you can see we're talking about almost 10 times worse of a hospital of comparative size. So basically we're here to just tell the county government of Kiambu, to tell the people of Kiambu, and to tell the Kenyans at large that effective 26th May at midnight, the doctors of Kiambu will regrettably have to down their tools if the county government of Kiambu does not address the issues that we have outlined in our strike notice.
Unless these critical issues are addressed, doctors across Kiambu County plan to initiate a full strike starting midnight on March 26th, potentially paralyzing healthcare services in the region. Triza Tiengo, GBS News.
Moving on swiftly, the National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula today led a section of the parliamentarians to view the body of the late Kasipul Member of Parliament Charles Ongondo Were at the Lee Funeral Home. Now, Wetangula stated that the National Assembly will be ready to cooperate with the investigation agencies to ensure that culprits who slain the late Member of Parliament be brought to book. The Kasipul Member of Parliament was gunshot in the evening hours of Wednesday last week at the city mortuary roundabout and died upon reaching Nairobi Hospital.
Dark cloud has hung over the National Assembly as the country continues to mourn the late Kasipul MP, Charles Ongondo Were.
Good morning.
Today, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula led a contingent of MPs to view the body of their late colleague at the Lee Funeral Home.
Fellow Kenyans, we've come to this Lee Funeral Home in a very somber mood. A dark cloud is hanging on Parliament, having lost one of our members, a member who was serving his second term, Honorable Charles Were, a friend of many of us. I personally have known Charles since 2013. As you are all aware, on the 2nd of this month, we lost our colleague. And the circumstances under which we lost him are evidently criminal, and we stand here to urge the agencies of administration of justice, the DCI, the General Police, and all those involved, ending with the DPP, to leave no stone unturned.
Speaker Wetangula added that the National Assembly will be ready and willing to offer any assistance to the investigating agencies to ensure that justice is served without bias.
We want to be open-minded so that investigations can be carried out freely and fairly, and as Parliament we will be available to assist in every way we can with any information that may be helpful, that the investigators may seek, so that we find a way of bringing the perpetrators of this act to the arms of justice.
Furthermore, he ensured the legislators of their total security.
Kwa wabunge wetu, ninawarai kila mmoja wenu amepewa security, muhakikishe kwamba wale walinzi wenu wanafanya kazi sawasawa. Kama mnataka tuwapeleke training, tutafanya hivyo kama bunge tukishirikiana na Police Service Commission, na nataka kuhakikisha ya kwamba kila mbunge anakuwa na security ya kutosha ili wafanye kazi yao bila uoga au bila kuhofiwa kwamba maisha yao iko hatarini.
Leta Ngondo was assassinated on Wednesday last week on his way back home from Parliament at the city mortuary roundabout. 4 suspects were arrested yesterday in connection with the murder and are still being held in police custody. A requiem mass for the late MP will be held tomorrow before his interment on Friday this week at his rural home in Kasipul, Homa Bay County. Victor Ujung, GBS News at 9.
A Member of Parliament Elisha Odhiambo and Rarieda MP Otende Amolo have urged Kenyans to support a bill seeking to entrench the constituency's development fund CDF into the constitution, warning that its dissolution will severely impact rural development. Speaking during public participation fora in Game and Rarieda, the MPs emphasized that the CDF supports functions such as school infrastructure, bursaries for needy students, and support to security organs that devolved governments are not constitutionally mandated to perform. Odhiambo, addressing residents at the Wagai CDF offices, said the fund has transformed marginalized areas and called for its expansion. Amolo, who co-sponsors the bill with an Pukoi Member of Parliament Samuel Chepkonga, said the CDF is legally sound but needs constitutional backing to prevent future legal challenges. If passed, the fund will be renamed the National Government Constituency Fund and will be limited to national government functions. Now, the Member of Parliament clarified that they will focus solely on representation and oversight in line with the Constitution, while ensuring that essential services in their constituencies are adequately funded.
CDF inatusaidia kupanga mambo hata ya hawa wafanyikazi wa security, hawa wa national government, police stations, police posts, kuimprove security. Ukizunguka hii constituency yetu utakuta mahali mingi sana tumetengeneza chief mahali yatakaa. Ukienda pale Sagana na area zingine mingi mpaka hizi area za Baricho, hata hii Baricho hapa, hii police station yetu, headquarter yetu hapa, utakuta projects za CDF tumefanya za kusaidia kuimprove security, ndio watu wetu waweze kufanya kazi yao bila kuogopa wahalifu. Kweli hiyo pesa inaharibu ama inasaidia? So mimi nataka leo muamue. Unajua sijui mumeamua namna gani, unaweza kuwa naongea hapa na mumeamua itupiliwe mbali. Nataka kuwasihi tusikubali hiyo maneno tunasikia huko nje negative yenye inafanya watu wafikirie CDF haisaidii. NG CDF, na tuliongezea NG National Government kwa sababu hatutaki ichanganyike na hii ya county government. Hii yetu ni National Government Constituency Development Fund, na katika mambo ya kumanage serikali ama public resources, kuna kitu tunaita decentralization of resources. Hiyo ni principle yenye ukikosa ku decentralize resources, wananchi watahangaika na hawataweza kusaidika.
It is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is 21144. We'll be right back.
Water remains to be the world's most precious commodity, but is the most misused. In times of drought, saving water is the only solution to making sure you have it. Don't use the shower when water is scarce. Instead, use the basin while bathing. Repair all leaking taps and pipes. Wash your car only whenever necessary. If not, use a piece of cloth to wipe it clean. Do not use the hose pipe to water your garden. Instead, use the water you clean your vegetable with to water your flowers. Do not release wastewater into rivers. Note that your downstream is someone else's upstream. Of all the waters available on Earth, only 1% is fit for human consumption. Every drop counts.
Hello, boys and girls. How are you today? Because I am very, very happy. So we are on Kids Mind on GBS TV.
Today we're going to make ta-da! A boba tea letter set.
We are moving to singing class.
Skinamarinky dinky ding, skinamarinky doo. I love you. The tortoise and the hare. Friends, do you know about this story?
Now you're finished to make.
Enjoy yourselves, everybody.
Everywhere, GBS.
And welcome back now to international news. The M23 rebel group, which is in Democratic Republic of Congo, has stated on its determination to fight and revive Congo's economy. The anti-president Felix Tshisekedi administration group is training thousands of local administrators to take control of civil service. The group, which has maintained its spirited fight against the current regime, is turning to the country's leadership apart, and according to them, they are in the they are to defend their minerals, and here's the report.
They have defeated Congo's army to take control of the eastern part of one of the Africa's most populous nation, but the long-term success of their uprising depends on reviving the economy in seized areas.
You cannot destroy what's not there. There is no life for Congolese. There is no life. As if I can compare Congo with other countries. There is no life. There is no economy, there is no salary, there is no security, there is no administration, there is no justice. So how can we think that we are destroying? There is nothing to destroy here.
The insurgents are now imposing new taxes on residents to finance their revolution, duties as high as 20% on small-time traders.
We have serious problems with the taxes. Customers no longer come, but at the end of each month, we are still asked to pay the tax. It is becoming very difficult for us to find the money to pay this tax.
In the town of Rubaya, the M23 has moved quickly to tighten its grip on a slice of Congo's vast mineral wealth. Mines here produce 1/6 of the world's supply of coltan, a metallic ore used in smartphones. The M23 now charges a 15% tax on the value of the coltan product, according to the rebel officials. That could mean up to £450,000 in monthly tax income for them, according to an estimate by the government expert.
the impact of Laurent Nkunda and his forces has been quite devastating for the civilian population here. They've been forced to run, to leave their homes. They've been separated as families, and they've gone into displacement camps.
The M23 is keen to demonstrate their life in rebel-held areas in returning to normal. The group has nominated governors and is training thousands of local administrators to take control of the civil services. Davis Karani for GBS DRC Congo.
Multiple explosions and fires were seen and heard in Sudan's capital, Port Sudan. Early on Tuesday, a fuel depot had been hit through, as well as the airport and a hotel in the center of the city. No casualties has been reported so far. Port Sudan is a major hub for the Sudanese military, which has been in conflict with the paramilitary rapid forces for more than 2 years. In the coastal city has been one of the few places in Sudan to avoid bombardment. That is until Saturday, when the RSF targeted for the first time. Cardinal Pizzaballa departs a general congregation meeting ahead of the conclave to elect the next pope, as seen from Rome, Italy on the 5th of May this year. 2 cardinals, one from Spain and one from Kenya, will not be joining the conclave for health reasons. All of the 133 cardinals expected to take part in the secret conclave to elect a new pope have arrived in Rome, with the race to succeed Pope Francis seen as wide open. Here is more on the report.
The conclave will start behind the closed wooden doors of Sistine Chapel on Wednesday afternoon, with all cardinals aged under 80 years entitled to take part in choosing a successor of Pope Francis, who died last month. Some cardinals are looking for a new pope who will continue with Francis' push for a more transparent, welcoming church, while others are seeking retrenchment of more traditional routes that put a premium on the doctrine. The conclave are often spread over several days, with multiple votes held before a contender wins the necessary 3/4 majority to become the pope. The world's Catholic cardinals have been meeting on a near-daily basis since the day after Pope Francis' death on the April of 21st to discuss the state of the 1.4 billion member church, with the number of participating clerics gradually swelling. The Vatican said 180 cardinals, including 132 electors, took part in a meeting on Monday morning. The 133rd electors is also in Rome, but did not take part in the discussions. 2 cardinals, one from Spain and one from Kenya, will not be joining the conclave for health reasons, a possible reference to split over Francis' decision to allow blessings for same-sex partners and to open discussions about the role of the women in the church. Cardinals also talked about the profile of the future pope, who must be present, close, capable of being a bridge and a guide, a shepherd close to the real life of the people.
Così Dio mi aiuti e questi santi evangeli che tocco. Così Dio mi aiuti e questi santi evangeli che tocco con la mia mano.
Così Dio mi aiuti e questi santi evangeli che tocco con la mia mano.
While there are few cardinals seen as potential front-runners to succeed Francis, 2 often mentioned are Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin and Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio.
Non parlerete tra di voi circa le operazioni di elezioni.
Many of the voting clerics have not yet made up their mind. The 2 Vatican guest houses will house the cardinals during the conclave, when they will be barred from contact with the outside world. The German Cardinal Walter Kasper, who is 92 years and cannot take part in the voting, said that he was sure that the electors would choose someone to pursue Pope Francis' progressive agenda.
Now to our next story. Pro-Sudan protesters demonstrated outside the International Court of Justice in The Hague on Monday, expressing outrage after the court dismissed Sudan's genocide case against the United Arab Emirates. The court ruled it did not have jurisdiction to hear the case despite Sudan's accusations that the UAE was supporting a paramilitary group in the country's ongoing civil war.
Pro-Sudan demonstrators rallied outside the International Court of Justice, protesting what they described as a major blow to justice for the Sudanese people. The protesters, holding signs and chanting slogans, expressed deep frustrations after the International Court of Justice dismissed Sudan's genocide case against the United Arab Emirates.
We are looking for justice. So justice will never stop in one place. We go further, and we will always be looking for our justice. So what's happening today, this is not the end of the game. We're going further.
The demonstrators accused the United Arab Emirates of aiding the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces in Sudan's ongoing civil war, a conflict that has killed an estimated 150,000 people and displaced over 14 million. The International Court of Justice ruled that it does not have jurisdiction to hear the case, citing the United Arab Emirates' reservation to a part of the Genocide Convention that allows countries to bring such disputes to the court.
Further considers that in light of the reservation made by the UAE to the compromissory clause contained in Article 9 of the Genocide Convention, and in the absence of any other basis of jurisdiction, the court manifestly lacks jurisdiction to entertain Sudan's application. In a system of consensual jurisdiction, to maintain on the general list a case upon which it appears certain that the court will not be able to adjudicate on the merits would not contribute to the sound administration of justice. The present case will therefore be removed from the general list. Having come to the conclusion that it manifestly lacks jurisdiction, the court is precluded by its statute from taking any position on the merits of the claims made by Sudan.
While the court acknowledged concern over Sudan's worsening conflict, the United Arab Emirates welcomed the decision and rejected responsibility, instead pointing to the well-documented abuses committed by both sides in the war.
Charles III and Queen Camilla, together with the Prince and Princess of Wales, yesterday joined the National Day commemorations for victory in Europe Day, marking 80 years since the end of the Second World War in Europe. The event marked at the Buckingham Palace brought together the United Kingdom as they remembered and honored the Second World War veterans.
The 80th victory in Europe, popularly known as the VE commemorations, was yesterday marked in style in the United Kingdom. King Charles III and Queen Camilla, together with the other royal family members, including Prince William and Princess Kate, alongside their 3 children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, graced the national event at the palace. From heartfelt conversations with the veterans, spectacular military parade, fly past over Buckingham Palace, UK came together to ensure that the stories and legacy of the Second World War veterans will never be forgotten. King hosts a tea party. VE Day is marked in the United Kingdom to honor the men and women who served in the European Armed Forces during the Second World War. Victor Udung.
Israel's cabinet has approved a plan to take full control of Gaza and remain there for unspecified time, with plans to move hundreds of thousands of Palestinians to the south and step up military operations against Hamas. The decision has drawn international concern and led to protest in Israel as families of hostages fear for their loved ones' safety.
The Israeli cabinet has approved a plan to capture the entire Gaza Strip and maintain control for an unspecified period, which will likely result in the forcible displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians to the southern region of Gaza. The operation's primary objective, according to Israeli military spokesperson, are to return hostages held by Hamas and dismantle the Hamas regime.
The objective of the operation is to return our hostages, topple and subdue the Hamas regime. These two goals are intertwined. The operation will include a broad offensive that includes moving a majority of Gaza's population to protect it in a sterile area from Hamas, continued airstrikes, the elimination of terrorists, and the dismantling of infrastructure. We will repeat the model carried out in Rafah and other areas of the Gaza Strip.
This decision comes amid the call-up of tens of thousands of Israeli reserve soldiers and is expected to begin after U.S. President Donald Trump's upcoming visit to the Middle East. The approval of this plan has sparked widespread condemnation, especially from the United Nations and the families of Israeli hostages still held in Gaza, who fear the operation could jeopardize their loved ones' safety.
Going back to war is not what we wanted to hear. We have seen that hostages die during warfare.
Protests erupted outside the Israeli parliament, with demonstrators calling for a resolution to release the hostages. Since Israel resumed its offensive against Hamas in March, more than 90% of Gaza's population has been displaced, with over 52,000 Palestinians, mostly women and children, have been killed. Teresa Tiengo, GBS.
It is time for your most favorite segment of the show, the sports news. Let's get sporty. Trent Alexander-Arnold sat down, took a deep breath and uttered the words many Liverpool knew would be coming. Alexander-Arnold didn't mention his next destination when confirming his imminent departure from Liverpool on his social media accounts, but the England right-back is widely expected to move to Real Madrid on a free transfer. The locally born Alexander-Arnold, who joined Liverpool at the age of 6, has won every major honor with a club, said it was easily the hardest decision I have made in my life. He has announced it barely a week after clinching a second Premier League title, with the Reds pushing them onto 20 English top-flight championships. Well, we have come to the end of the news bulletin. It is always a pleasure having you on board. Let's do this again, same time, same channel. My name is Stephen George, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Alan Kiama. Good night.
Everywhere, GBS.